within 10 minutes. I know I have got 17 slides and 10 minutes means I should finish 2 slides in a minute. That is very fast, but somehow I have got a few slides which will not take much time. So we'll start straight away. Before I move on to the exact the presentation I want to draw your attention to certain few slides, 3-4 of them, why our attention should be there on the mountains. Especially I'm talking about the cryospheric region of Himalaya as well as non-cryospheric region of Himalaya. And these are the points which I try to collect here. They are the home to 1/10 of our world population. And more than half of the humanity, that is 3 billion people, rely on mountains for safe, fresh drinking water. Second point, mountain forests are crucial to ecological health of the planet. They protect the watershed, and tropical mountain forests have been disappearing at a rapid rate. The third point is mountains are islands of biodiversity and a home to unique and seemingly infinite variety of plants. Of the 20 plant species which supply 80% of the world food, 6 originate in mountains. Mountains are the guardians of our cultural diversity. They are keepers of language and repository of traditions. And why there should be an attention on mountain? Mountains are the barometer of climate change. A change in temperature can disrupt a mountain system. Mountain glaciers are melting at an unprecedented rate. Consequently, mountains will become more dangerous as soil erosion, landslide, rockfall, floods, and avalanches will increase in number and intensity. And finally, the tourism and the related economic boom of mountain resorts over the last century have pushed more and more settlements into disaster-prone areas. Mountains are very sensitive to environment change. Environmental degradation becomes apparent and earlier. Now, with this background, I want to start with a fact. And we have been listening since yesterday. The fact is, temperatures are rising. It's established in Himalaya, higher in high Himalaya. Precipitation is varying. It has been measured, modeled also. Climate shift is apparent. Erratic precipitation pattern has been observed. No deceptions. However, there is still an element of science component which is not yet settled. We saw yesterday some of the presentations, different people are giving different figures, and we know that there is a lot of uncertainty. There is a need to do a little more, deeper, better research in the areas. Now, the cause. We also understood yesterday the cause is anthropogenic activity, and aerosol increase is there, but it has been shown by Dr. Ramshu also. But in the higher regions of Himalaya, it's not well established. Increase in greenhouse gas emission is there, and certain regions definitely we have done a lot of deforestation. The effect is very now clear. It's warming, extreme weather. We had wildfires. We have shifting tree line. We have polluted the atmosphere. Pollution, polluted rivers, like examples, Yamuna is 50% pollution. Imbalance in ecosystem. Imbalance in radiative cooling. Extensive avalanching. And cascading effect of one disaster leading to another, which we have seen sometime a couple of years back. We had disasters in Uttarakhand, and decrease in crop yield, and aggravated intensity of infectious disease. This is the effect. Now, what is known? Unknown. Unknown from all these things is some glaciers are advancing. Why? We have had an explanation, but there is not a very foolproof explanation. Like in the case of Karakoram anomaly, we have had a recent paper by Bambre also has given an explanation, but in the end, our conclusion, he says it still needs to be investigated. Energy balance has not been properly budgeted, it has not been investigated. Gap in the knowledge of short and long-term implications of the impact of climate change on water and hazards in the Himalaya. Most studies have excluded Himalaya. Till now we have seen about 900 odd papers have started coming in this field in last couple of years, and we found that Himalayan region was earlier excluded from the study. The capacity for adapting to future climate change has also not been studied. We have been discussing quite a lot the science. I found that science and geopolitics are together to this time, but this part I have not seen is being done. Then all the research that is coming out from different research scholars and scientists there has to be someone who should synthesize from all this research what is finally emerging. A picture is not coming from all the research, because all research is saying something differently, which is very confusing at times. So it will be good someone does that job for policy decisions and planners as well as decision makers. Now, the geopolitical consequences, that's what I wanted to mention, is that geopolitically the area is likely to become active in future. There are certain positive points. First, inner areas may become mineable. We may have approach to some rare elements, some more exploration. We have better border vigilance. We have easy access to glacial mountain passes, enhanced mobility in the mountainous region, higher mountainous region, expansion in temperate grassland and cold temperate coniferous forests, new areas of agriculture, horticulture will be there, and we have comfortable temperatures at the higher altitude regions. This is positive part. The negative part which I wanted to mention is that it is going to be a very severe issue in future. Water scarcity as well as security, food scarcity, rise in natural hazards, Himalayan densification may accelerate in some areas, retreating glaciers may destabilize slope, and we have seen it, it has happened in some places. Dam streams and hydropower may eventually suffer, increased vulnerability in downstream areas. There will be extreme runoff situations leading to many other disasters downstream, and damaged Himalayan lowland, forced migration to plains. We have seen in very small element it's happening, but the conflicts which are not very prominent as on date, but we know that there has been problem between one state and another state on what issue in plains itself. And it may happen in future when we have less water. We'll have to take into consideration what are we are going to do. And increase in GLOF activity, that's glacial lake outbursts, may happen more in future. Now, what is the action plan with us? Adaptation cost, which has been mentioned at number of places, will increase with delays in implementation strategy. So we have to, with whatever knowledge we have gained from the science so far, we have to act on it also. Because knowledge has been pouring in, but we have not been acting, so something has to be done on that also. Snow and water harvesting has to be taken very seriously. So unless we do that, we will have a very severe shortage of water. Robust early warning system has to be there, and we have seen there has been good, considerable improvement in this field, but still definitely something more is required in this direction. Afforestation in Himalaya has to be taken up very seriously. We have to be prepared to combat extreme weather situations. We have to have better roads and tunnels to inaccessible areas. That will, if we have better roads, so there will be less pollution, and tunnels should come up, and I'm very happy to say that now more and more tunnels the government of India is thinking of putting more tunnels at various places. That will be a good thing that can happen. Low emission and resilient economic development, increase water storage of reservoirs, irrigation works, identification of vulnerable areas and preventive measures should be there, use of renewables, a lot of thrust should be put on here, and urgent need to alternate energy, capacity building, thrust on livelihood resilience, and conscious consumerism. I have seen we have become more, consumerism has suddenly increased. We need more and more and more. We should think about that properly. Invest in high altitude agriculture, horticulture research, and low carbon technology. Increase job opportunities, densify livelihood schemes in mountains, and curb migration to plains. We have seen that people in the mountain regions are moving to plains and they don't go back. And this has to be, unless we do something in the mountains, then only we'll be able to stop them there and do something for the mountains and live there. Finally, there is an engagement required of military, political, social, cultural, and economic elements for our society. All need to pay for compromise, then conflict with larger interests of the society in mind, go beyond state boundaries, internal engagement of all stakeholders, identification of strength of each organization, and avoid duplication of work. Here I wanted to put a few seconds more, because I have seen a lot of work, research work is coming up from different institutions for the same area, for the same period, different conclusions. This is good also, but it cannot be done. Many people should not be doing the same thing over and again. and drawing some conclusions from it. Good in research, it should be done, but with still some hold should be there. Research findings should be put in some Indian cryosphere journal, we don't have one. Technology sharing from developed countries should come. And I remember some time back there was a presentation where it was 3 bullets had to be marked. There should be global collaboration on R&D, make available clean technology to developing countries, network of regional technology centers should be established. And we should have engagement with neighbors. In the last year's SaGHAA, this was amply brought out in the presentation as well as in the book. We should engage finally. First of all, we need to engage ourselves within our states, with our people. Then we will be in a position to move on to the engaging with the neighbors on Himalayan Third Pole Circle, and regional information sharing network should be there. The future research, finally, should be on scenario building, projections with reduced uncertainty. We have this very huge gap in the uncertainty part of it. Cryosphere-centered satellite observation system in place, like CryoSat or something should be there, that would be helpful. Densified ground observation stations, like yesterday also the secretary mentioned we should have some reference station. We have only 2 and they are outside. We should have one in India also, maybe more. And there are places where we can have them. Study nonlinear effects of climate change, identify tipping points. People have identified tipping points in the world over, but we should identify within Himalaya what are the tipping points. If something like this happens, what will be the, where from we will not be able to reverse the whole thing. So we should identify those things. Extreme weather prediction should be there, modeling, ground data for validation, and research on new technologies. Finally, that was the end, and I think I have conveyed my point in the time frame given to me.
Thank you for time.